Oh my gosh. Hello everyone. Welcome to Jolene's Happy Time Craftcast. I'm Joleen and I am excited to be with you here on this beautiful January day. We've been off for a couple of weeks and so it is really nice to be back. And of course, I have a few tales to tell about what's been going on since I last saw you. Um, I take an annual trip with three of our four kids to New York every year, and we do Broadway. And we did this. We did Hamilton, and we did the Book of Mormon, and we did Little Shop of Horrors. And it was raining and so cold that we had to kind of like find something to do. And so we last minute added Death Becomes Her. And friends, unbeknownst to me, we were there for Megan Hilty's last live show. And I've never experienced anything like this where they like came out with the roses and the whole cast was crying. And it was like her last performance and it was so emotional. And we were in row P, I think. And so like we saw it all and it was so great. It was so great. And I'm so lucky that I'm able to do those kinds of things. And the kids had a great time. I don't think really there was not really, and they're grown-ups, they're adults. So there wasn't any real complaining. And we averaged about 16 to 18,000 steps a day. So it was super fun. So that's where I've been, and that's what's been going on in my personal life. In my professional life, things here at Big Raven Farm are amazing. We are set with our 2026 retreat schedule. And I know you've heard me say it before, but each retreat only has 14 spots. And not to sound too salesy, but they sell out. So if you are interested in coming to Big Raven Farm in 2026, go give it a little look and see what might fit for you, so that you can get the retreat that you want. And you can always ask me questions about it. So I think those are my updates, personal and professional. And then here in a little bit, I'll tell you more about what I've been working on in my crafty life. But it is really nice to see all of you. Hello, Karen. Hello. Thank you for being such a great friend and follower of the show. I appreciate you so much. In the comments, let me know you're here and where you're from. It warms my heart. It makes me so happy. Thank you guys so much. All right. There's Lisa Lake. Hello. Good to see you. Really good to see you. All right. I have a special guest, as I always do. And today's guest is someone that we've been following on socials, and we're keeping our eye on Eric, because his work is in a niche and in a space that I don't really have a lot of friends in this area. And so I was like, I want to talk to him and I want to learn more about this. So our guest today is Eric Klepinger, and professionally, he goes by E.J. Klepinger. And he is a professional artist, and he's the president of Voyager Artists. He creates animal portraits, gallery pieces, and he manages local group shows, including ongoing exhibitions at Castle Danger Brewery, and that's in Duluth, Minnesota. He is a Two Harbors Public Library artist in residence, and he'll have a solo show coming up here, I think in March, at Tedagouche State Park in 2026. So he's inspired by nature and he loves inspiring others. He teaches classes. He's got his commissions open. He does pet portraits. Like, what is not to love? So I know you will do a really good job of welcoming Eric to the Happy Time Craftcast. There he is right there. Hi, Eric.
Hello, Joleen. Thank you for
Hello.
having me.
Oh, we are just absolutely thrilled that you could be here. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure. Thank you.
Well, okay. So you paint lots of stuff and you started as a graphic artist.
Yep.
So of all of the things that you do, like, do you have like a favorite? Are you drawn to a favorite project or medium or technique?
So as a kid, I started out doing drawings, pencil drawings. That was my
Yeah.
thing. And then through my schooling and everything, I learned about pen and ink, and I learned about pastel and then watercolor and the different kind of 2D mediums. And
Mm-hmm.
so really, I have many more years, I mean, decades more experience in those mediums. Acrylics is actually fairly new to me. I've only been doing that for maybe 10 years, if that.
Okay.
and yet that's kind of where I've gravitated towards lately. So that's been kind of my focus. I've noticed there's a small niche of people who actually like monochromatic art, so the pen and ink,
Mhm.
pencil. Most people like color, which
Yeah.
is, why wouldn't they? It's vibrant, it's wonderful, and so they, they gravitate towards specifically acrylics because it's a pretty mobile, medium. Pastel requires framing. Watercolor usually requires framing. So acrylics allow you
Mhm.
to kind of hang it on the wall and you're good to go. So that's kind of what
Yeah.
I've been gravitating towards now lately is just
And
acrylic.
while you were chatting, I was showing a few of your pieces. I love the animals. I love them so much. I love the detail on the moose and the bear and the loon and the fox. And I just think that, like, when you were talking about color here a moment ago, that people love color, I absolutely 1000% do, because it's not something that I feel artistically I'm all that good at knowing or understanding. So like when you switched from graphic to, picking up that acrylic, folks like me, we want to know how did you do that? Like, how did you get there?
Yeah. So this is going to get into more of almost a
Sure,
psychological
we love that. We love that.
journey because, as a kid, and I think a lot of us can relate to this. I had a very pragmatic father who was very like, "Oh, art is a hobby. You can't make a living at that." And
Yeah,
I'm talking when I was 7 years old. So even though I was
sure.
winning art awards and getting accolades from
Mhm.
my teachers and things like that,
Yeah.
and searching my young soul at the time,
Yep.
knowing that art was my thing. I had this father who was very business oriented. And you can't do that. So
Mhm.
those beliefs, they get planted into us at such a young age,
Yes.
and whether they're true or not, we follow them, almost
Yes.
blindly. And so even going into college, I was kind of on that graphic design stint, even though I was taking fine art classes, art history classes, photography classes. My real focus was graphic design, and then I minored in marketing. So I was already on this trajectory of kind of
Yep.
going into the commercial arts. However, out of college, I got involved with the Denver Museum of Natural History, which is now called the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. But at the time, I worked in the
Yeah.
exhibits department as a preparator, which is like a grunt, basically.
Sure.
I was, you do whatever you're told, kind of a thing. And
Yes.
um, so I kind of got diverged away from fine art, but I would do it on the side for people. I did commissions for people all through my time.
Mhm.
And then I started getting into multimedia design because I had a computer science background as well. So I was using different kinds of graphic design tools to create touchscreen systems and educational kiosks, things like that for the museum, and then as a business.
Yep.
So graphic arts was really a big chunk of my early career for 30 or more years, honestly. And it
Yeah.
was during 2009 when the market kind of crashed. I
Yep.
lost at the time. I owned a business, I owned a couple businesses. The market crashed, and I literally lost all my clients.
Yeah.
I went through some personal issues as well. And it was
Mhm.
a really wonderful time to kind of reevaluate my life. I saw it as a blessing, not as a curse. Like, I'm like,
Sure.
thank goodness, because I'm burned out doing graphic design. And so, um, that's when I really started jumping into becoming a professional artist. I actually remember very clearly, I was like, okay, I could stick with the digital art. That was kind of an up and coming thing back then. Now it's prevalent, but at the
Of
time, digital
course.
art was kind of a new thing. And I could do
Yeah.
interactive art, digital art, or get back into the fine art, which is the painting and
Yes.
the other more traditional mediums. And so I went that route. And I opened a home improvement business to pay the bills. So because I had that skill set too. So I was doing home improvement, had a home improvement
Yeah.
business called Chameleon Home Improvement, was doing that and doing art. And I was still living in Colorado at the time.
Yep.
And then once I moved here, I kind of gave it all up and said, okay,
Yep.
just going to do art. So it's
Well,
been a financial journey, but that's kind of what my path was. I still use graphic design for my business, for promoting myself,
of course.
but
Yep.
my focus is fine art in all its aspects. So
Well, as you were sharing all of that, like, we have like a number of things in common, and I think that it is a bit of like a generational, change, of course, because
yeah.
I've told the story about, my dad too. having that conversation with me about practicality and
Mhm.
what will I be? What's my practical job going to be in case I don't make it as an actress, right? Like I thought I was headed to Broadway. And so when my dad had that conversation with me about what's, your fallback plan, my undeveloped 18-year-old brain heard, you're not good enough, Joleen, so you should probably have a plan B.
Yep.
And I don't think that's at all what he was saying now, but that's what I thought he was saying then. And so I majored in business, although I've always been attracted to the arts. And I think the thing is that I've finally learned here in this generation of my life is that my artistic self and the things that I do creatively, it's a calling. And if I don't answer the call, I am just upset and I'm
Yep.
not happy and I'm not fulfilled. And the creative version of me is like the most consistent. I solve
Yeah.
problems creatively, I run my business creatively, and I'm just not a happy camper if I'm not manipulating things with my hands.
Yep.
Thoughts?
I totally agree. Matter of fact, what I feel based on like what you're sharing, it's following your joy, and that can be such a vague thing. Like,
Right.
well, I enjoy eating pizza every day. So I
Right.
looking at following a joy in a constructive way that you don't. So for me, it was a journey of knowing in my heart that I really love creating art. But
Yes.
then that business side is like, oh, so if I make this piece and sell so many prints, I'll make this kind of money. So I was that again, pragmatic father talk in my
Sure.
mind was misleading me. I
Yep.
believe in lots of spiritual influences, but one of them is that you can be led astray by people. And so I was being led. I was allowing that mind thought talk to kind
Mhm.
of lead me astray. And so what happened was I wasn't making any money. Of course not. I was doing art for the money, not doing art for
Ah.
art. And so I wasn't following the joy. So of course I was failing as an artist,
Mhm.
or kind of living up to my dad's, see, I told you so, son. You know?
Right.
And I had a very profound experience where I was in my studio here in Duluth, I live, just so to clarify, Castle Danger Brewery is actually in Two Harbors. So
Oh,
those of
okay.
you who want to go to Castle Danger Brewery, it's in Two Harbors.
Two Harbors, gotcha.
You can probably still buy the beer elsewhere, but it's
Oh, okay.
a
Okay.
very prominent brand. But so I actually live about halfway between Duluth and Two Harbors, right on Lake Superior. So I was in my studio feeling a little depressed about my career path and what's
Yeah.
going on. I was literally guided. I heard this voice that said, go to the lake and just go to the water. So I went down to the lake because it's literally a walk for me just to go down to the Lake Superior. And I'm walking around the shore, and there's lots of rocks and everything. And as I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, these rocks have really cool shapes. Like I mean, I knew that, but I wasn't really paying attention. And rocks would kind of point themselves out to me. So I'd pick up a rock, like, oh, this rock looks like a wolf head, or this rock looks like a bear head.
Right.
So literally step by step, I was guided to take those
Mhm.
rocks back to the studio and paint them. It was literally like I was a little boy being handheld by this divine parent
Yeah.
saying, step by step, paint the rock, pick the rock up, see what you see in the rock, paint the rock. And I would get done with these things. I'm like, oh my God, these are really cool. And then it was now sell the rock. Okay. So at the
Mhm.
time, there was a local coffee shop called Mocha Moose, and they were good friends of mine. And so I
Yeah.
took several of these to the shop, and they loved them and said, yeah, just put them out on the counter here and we'll see if they sell. Long story short, I was selling these little rocks for like $19 to
I
$40.
want one. I
They
want a
were
rock.
amazing. And I had a Facebook presence that I called What's in the Stone. So it was an interactive thing where I'd post the raw rock. I'd already
Right.
painted it, but I'd paint the raw rock. People would
Are
write
you
in what
still
they
doing
see.
that? Eric, I want one.
I want to get back to it. I've been so busy, which is a good thing.
Okay.
I do want to get back into doing
Because
it.
there's like a whole bunch of us, I'm sure, who are like, I want
Yeah,
a rock. Like
I
that
thank you
sounds
for that.
amazing.
It was such a great experience because what it did from a divine standpoint for
Sure.
me is broke me out of this depression that I was feeling. And
Yeah.
it taught me just create the art for the art.
Right.
Don't worry about selling the art. Don't worry about what happens after that. Just
That's
Be an
course.
artist. Just that's all you need to do. We make it so complicated in our lives. Whatever
Mhm.
our journey is, and it could be accounting, it could be an engineer, it could be a nurse,
Mhm.
whatever path brings you joy. This is the big key here. We chase the money. Oh, I get great benefits. I have lots of money,
Right.
but I'm not happy.
Chase
Well,
the joy.
chase the joy.
I
Follow
love
your heart will guide you in what's best for you. For me, it was to be an artist,
yes.
and the opportunities will just present themselves without you having to do a darn thing. As a matter of fact, if I had this elaborate marketing plan, 5-year plan, 2-year plan, 1-year plan, I could never have even predicted the path I've been on to
Right.
get where I am today. There's no way, no amount of marketing, no amount of sales experience,
Right.
no amount of trade shows, going to art fairs could have led me to where I am now. And I've still got a lot more I want to do. But
Of course.
it's just
It's
such a
never.
beautiful journey to just be you. Just do the thing that you love, whatever that
Mhm.
is, and then the rest is going to just reveal itself.
I feel like that's like it's like a beautiful encapsulating statement, mantra, guidepost, whatever you want to call it, that you chase the joy. And I agree with you because in my own experience, when I am feeling a little out
Mhm.
of whack or not quite in my own self, I've been too tasky and not having a creative expression of some kind. And I'm just a better human being when I listen to my calling, which
Yeah,
is to create things and to
yes.
be creative. So, in preparation to Eric for your visit today, we reached out to our community, said, Eric is coming. What kind of questions do you have for him? And because my community is just the best, they sent in a few questions. So, I'm going to pull those up for you here. Um, and here it kind of relative to what we've been talking about. Um, do you ever still doubt yourself as an artist? This is a
Every
great question
day,
because you're
every
so
day,
good, right?
every day.
And what helps you get unstuck? Well, don't go away, you silly thing. What helps
Um,
you get unstuck when that happens? And Lauren, thank you. We'll send you some happy
Great
time.
question. I would say I doubt myself every day, and I've gotten better. Where I
Mhm.
get so almost intimidated. Let's say a commission piece specifically
Sure.
might intimidate me because it's asking me to do something maybe I haven't done before, or
Mhm.
that maybe I'm not as excited about, but I'm doing it
Right.
anyway. That I have to really. I'm a great procrastinator. Oh, I'm hungry. No, I'm not, but I'll go off and get something to eat. Or, oh, I need to do this or that. So
Oh.
it's just being very diligent. I'm much better now, much more focused now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Being diligent to just do it anyway.
Yeah.
And the minute I get focused and into it, I'm in pure heaven. And all of a sudden,
Right.
any doubts I have go away. When you sell a piece, right? When I sell a
Yeah.
piece of art, that encourages me. When my client receives the commission piece and they're
Yeah.
in tears over it, that feeds me, so it's just, again, trusting the divine energy, the universe, angels,
Yep.
God, whatever you believe in, trusting that energy that it's not going to lead you astray unless you ask it to. That's the problem, is we live in this negative world at times. And if we have negative thoughts, guess what we're going to attract? Negative outcomes
Right.
because we've asked for it. So switch
Right.
that, be as positive as you can, be confident in your abilities, and just continue on. And the benefits will always come. I mean, it's amazing to me. So
Well, as I kind of think about that question for myself, is I lately have been tackling some like really large projects, and they are assembly projects. And I've been getting a little bored because it's a repetitive
yeah,
building process. And I have to finish. I have two big ones in particular that are they're just not going to do themselves, like
mhm,
I have to finish the assembly because right now, like when people look at them, I'm like a little gun shy in a way to be too boastful about them because they're three-quarters done. And so I think that, when I get in that situation, if I can like dabble, if I can work on my assembly pieces and then go dabble on something else
mhm,
and then come back, I feel like I have a whole lot more energy to get to,
yeah,
completion. Especially because an assembly project I know is very different from a painting. I'm, gluing in thousands of little pieces and it just gets redundant. So
right, yeah.
so mixing it up is the way that I like stay in and get unstuck. So,
Yeah.
okay, great question, Lauren. Thank you so much.
Awesome question.
It was. Now look at this one, Eric. This one is a good one. This is from Chris in Two Harbors. Animals show up a lot in your work. Do they choose you or do you go looking for them? That is a fabulous question. I
I
love
think a little bit of both, honestly, because, okay, so, and I'm not Native American. I won't pretend to be wise in that world. However, I strongly believe that animals guide us. I
sure.
believe nature guides us, nature and animals. So whether you can tell it in this interaction, I'm a huge introvert. The COVID year was the happiest year. For me, I was thrilled. I didn't have to talk to anybody. I had an excuse to not talk to anybody. I love the COVID year. So I've had to work hard to be this way. Teaching has been really helpful for me because
Mm,
it forces me to be more social. I love my students. They are. I'm going to get teary.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I
Um,
understand that.
I didn't expect that reaction. They are such an inspiration to me because they've had their own traumas,
Yeah.
as children and going into adulthood, even still in adulthood.
Mhm.
And whatever they're going through during their week, they loyally come to class, and the joy they bring and the energy they bring, and you can feel this energy in the class, and it feeds me, it inspires me. So to go back to the original question, it's like being around other artists, even in that environment,
Sure.
pushes me too. It's like, wow, look at what you've done in 2 hours. I don't think I could do that in 2 hours. And to be in
Right.
a social environment where it's really vulnerable is
Yeah.
inspiring. So I'm answering your question here in a second here. So
You're fine.
I am an introvert. And I actually trust nature wisdom more than human wisdom often.
Mhm.
Animals guide us. And so, like, if, for instance, I saw a bobcat, I've got a bobcat on the property, and that's this beautiful, healthy bobcat. Seeing an animal, I will immediately look it up. I've got several kind of like spirit animal books, and I look online, and I'll look up the meaning of what that animal represents. And it's
Mhm.
amazing how much it relates to the moment
Yeah.
living. Like, I try to stay in the moment, stay in the present. Don't
Yeah.
think about the future. Don't let the past kind of dictate you. Stay present, and things will help guide you, including animals and nature and people and whatever. So
Mhm.
for me, um, I have in my mind, I've got a whole bunch of animals that I want to portray. And
Yeah.
my goal is to show them as spiritual beings. They're not just stupid creatures,
Sure.
they're spiritual beings that have feelings, and they're very wise, and they're not constricted by fear in the way we are. They're into survival. It's like eat, sleep, procreate, live,
Mhm.
do the best you can in whatever way you're designed to do it. So to me, that's a huge inspiration, because that's what we can all do. We can all live that way. It's really that simple. And so I just find beauty in all creatures. I have a whole log of photo references that I use as inspiration. So I mean, on my back wall here, I've got several paintings that I've been working on at the same time, including a commission, and so I'm constantly working on different animals, and my goal is to really celebrate their energy, celebrate their
Sure.
spirit, and how I perceive them.
Mhm.
So that's kind of my thing. I just love them. I absolutely.
Yeah. So it kind of sounds like they choose you and you choose them, like both
Exactly. It's a
are
joint effort.
happening. Well, and as I've been like sharing your work here, there are lots of pieces that I love. I told you before the show that I love the fox and I love the bear. But after further like study, I really, really, really love this one so much.
Me too. And
I
I just told it. I still have this original.
I
I
love the expressions on the like, I
Thank
love
you.
the fish faces.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry that the one guy's about to get eaten, but I get it. But I
I
love
love
the
that.
nuance and the depth and, like, the light coming down
Yeah.
from the top. Lots going on here, Eric. I love it. Big,
Well, so do
big
you
fan.
mind if I describe? This is a
Yes,
wonderful symbol to my
please.
whole approach. So
Yeah.
I learned years ago that we both have a right and left brain, right? So we have a
Yep.
creative brain and an analytical brain. I'm a very logical person, so I'm very mechanical. I can take things apart. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I did home improvement work, you're using math, you're doing, there's an analytical process, but then there's a creative process. So I used to battle the analytical side of me, like, I don't want to be analytical and logical. I hate that. I just
Sure.
want to be creative and an artist. Yeah. I've learned that there's analysis in art, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Colors, composition, what your subject is, how you're going to
Sure.
compose all this. And something that a teacher told me ages ago when I was, I think, in fifth grade, the teacher said, you have a really good understanding of composition. I had no idea what she was
Yes.
talking about. What does that mean? And what she was meaning was that I just have this innate ability to kind of
Mm-hmm.
compose things. And so composition has to do with color and light and how the subject interacts with the space. And, there's so many levels of composition. The other things that I really like is perspective. I am obsessed about perspective. One of
Sure.
my favorite classes in high school was perspective drawing. I
Yeah.
love it. And I apply perspective to almost every piece I do. There's ways to do a soft focus background, and then you make the subject in focus, you immediately get depth. With the piece you're talking about, that muskie, that
Mm-hmm.
spotted muskie, is very elongated. So if you look at its body, it's like a cylinder, right? So
Yeah.
it's really fun for me to use basic 2-point perspective where its body is going to one point on the horizon line, and then its mouth is going to another point on the
Oh,
horizon.
yeah.
And then all the perch are all also following 1-point perspective, which would be kind of back behind the perch that's about to get eaten. Each one of those perch are following perspective as they come towards us. So it's kind of like when you see superhero drawings and like
Yeah.
it's
And
called
a
foreshortening.
pow. It's like giving
Right.
me a pow. Yeah.
So it's the foreshortening where see how big my hand looks right now?
Yeah,
My
for sure.
hand isn't that big, right? It's this size. But when you're coming towards the viewer, it's
Yeah.
huge, right? That's
So
foreshortening.
what is this piece called with the perch and the muskie?
I'm trying to remember. I think it's called Spotted Muskie Ambush, if I remember right.
That's a great name.
And what I loved about this piece was that you're underwater, and if you look up, you'll see the lily pads. So there's this kind of another point of perspective because there's like this curvature that's occurring to the lily pads, which if you're underwater, you look, everything kind of gets bent. It's like this
Yeah,
fisheye view kind of thing. So you're kind of
I
seeing the
love it.
landscape through the water, but not really. It's kind of ambiguous. I love this piece too, and I am absolutely shocked it hasn't sold yet. It's
And
a
I think it's
one of my favorite
well,
pieces.
and Eric, it lends to a really great conversation too for those of us who might be getting more into a practice of watercolor or painting or drawing. And, like I said earlier, it's like I think that dabbling and play for
Mhm.
me as an artist helped me so much. Since I primarily am a builder manipulator, it doesn't mean that I'm not called and feel drawn to try some of these other things. I just don't always know how. And I'm
Yeah,
realizing that I'm not going to know how if I don't practice.
exactly.
So I
Exactly.
love the conversation about, because like when I look at perch and muskie, what I see is I see foreground and background. I see the depth of the bubbles, the
Mhm.
contouring, the shading, but I also see triangles, which in
Mhm.
my artwork, I'm drawn to triangles and like where
Yeah.
they exist and rules of thirds. But I
Yeah.
think that like this is so great for all of us to just kind of like look at it and talk about it and like I think it's a great question of like, why do you like it? Like, I love that question. I love it so much.
Yeah.
In fact, Susan here, Susan wants to know this. She says, do you have a favorite piece among all of the beautiful works that you've done?
I get asked this question a lot, Susan.
Yeah, I bet.
I don't honestly. I mean, it's fun because I'll look at a piece on. Oh yeah, I really love. It's probably easier for me to say I don't feel like this piece was as strong.
Oh,
You know,
sure, sure.
that's easier for me than to say that I have a favorite piece. The piece you just showed with the muskie and the perch is
Yep.
one of my favorites. I just finished a couple other pieces. I finished a raccoon coming out of a winter birch hole in a tree. That was a beautiful. I love that piece.
Oh,
It's
that's
beautiful.
awesome.
I just did a pine marten coming down a snowy branch that sold immediately. Another piece I love. So what I'm noticing is my style and skill level is I wouldn't say improving, but changing as I keep doing
Sure.
another piece. Some of my pieces are a little bit more whimsical, some are more
Yep.
playful.
Yep.
So I think for me, as long as I'm celebrating the animal's energy, I feel like it's my favorite piece. I know I'm not
Right.
really answering the question.
No, then that's fair. I mean, I think for me, my favorites, they jump.
Yeah,
And I also think sometimes I'll finish something and I'll look at it and I'll be way too critical. And
yeah,
I'll be like, oh, I can't believe I spent all that time on it. I don't really like it. And then I'll come back months, weeks later, and I'll be like, what was wrong with you, Jolene? There's like
yeah,
absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like
exactly.
that's awesome. Sometimes it's just, distance plus time multiplied by a brain break equals.
Yeah. Well, I think a favorite piece, honestly, that concept of my favorite piece, I
Yeah,
kind of leave it to my collectors and viewers because I'll
sure.
get that on Facebook a lot. Oh, this is my favorite piece, or oh, you're really improving, or these
Right.
are all, you could read them as judgments, but all the person is saying is that, wow, I really resonate with this piece. This is my
Of
favorite piece.
course.
Nothing wrong with that. That's your opinion. That's awesome. And so art
Right.
resonates with each of us differently. So I
Yeah.
kind of leave the whole favorite piece thing up to people who look at my art
Right.
and I don't really go into that.
Get involved in that part, right.
Yeah,
So
and it's like releasing your child. It's like I know a lot of artists have a really hard time letting go of a piece, and so
mhm,
they'll price it high purposely. It's like, well, if you're
right,
willing to pay this amount, sure. For
right.
me, for me, the joy is creating the piece. It's not
Yeah,
the attachment to the piece after the fact. So that's a big part that I had to go through is letting go of attachment. So it's the
right, of
joy of
course.
creating the art, enjoying the art, and then letting the art go and being really thrilled when someone adopts. I call it adopting, even though they're
Right.
paying for it. They're adopting the art, which I love that. I absolutely love that.
So, okay, so Eric, tell my listeners this. How is the best way to find you? What is the best way to say, "Hey, I would love to have a commissioned piece of my pet. I would love a pet portrait." Like, where do you want them to go? What do you want them to do?
The best way is probably through Facebook, just because
Okay,
it's so accessible by everybody. It's easy.
yeah,
However, there are people that aren't on Facebook. So I have an email address, I have a telephone number. They can
okay,
I will not answer the phone if I don't recognize the number, so leave a
sure,
message. Uh, but an email is always great. I'm always checking email. Most people reach out to me via Facebook, though, or Facebook.
okay.
So they'll friend me on Facebook, and then,
Well,
uh,
we will link all of that in our
yeah,
show notes so it's easy to find you.
yeah.
But you are teaching classes coming
Yep.
up locally in Two Harbors and Duluth, correct?
Not Duluth, but definitely Two Harbors.
Two
Yes, I
Harbors. Okay.
teach twice a month at Voyager Artists. So we have a really lovely space. There's a building that we collectively own, actually. So there are three different groups in that space. There's this woodworking shop. There's
Nice.
art. So they have their own half of the building because they have a lot
Yep.
of tools and stuff. And then on our half, it's Voyager Artists and then
Yep.
also carvers. And so it's a smaller group. They carve beautiful, take wood and carve beautiful birds and objects and things. So they share our space
Yep.
with us. We share it together. And then Voyagers is a pretty big group. Last year we had about 60 members. We just are going through our membership drive right now. So we're at
Okay.
about probably 40 members now, and it'll continue to grow. So I teach classes there. Like I said, I teach classes at the brewery as well.
Yep.
The second and fourth Tuesday evening of the month, I teach classes. Those are more fun and whimsical, not as structured.
Okay.
I'm teaching classes through Two Harbors Public Library right now as well.
Well,
Um,
I will make sure to link all of that in our show notes so people can find it. I myself am interested in a pet portrait because
Great.
I mean, I would look at Augie and I would just absolutely cry because he's the world's best 14-year-old blue healer. Um,
Oh, well, that's getting old for a blue healer. Wow, that's wonderful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
he's
It's
just a
wonderful.
baby.
It's wonderful. Yes, of course.
And he's like the director of hospitality here. So, like,
That's
he has a
awesome.
very big role for
That's
sure.
awesome.
So, okay, well, I will be sure to link all of that. And I'm just going to have us
Right.
switch gears just a little bit here. And I'd love for you to stay around for this conversation. But one of the things I like to do every week is I like to talk about books that I am reading, books that have inspired me, or give tutorials and all that sort of stuff. So this week's book, not at all an art book, but something that I'm loving. And big shout out to my friend Lisa Lake, who got me into this. I didn't even know this was a thing, but this is called the 52 Book Club. Eric, have you heard of this? It's the 52
Mhm.
Book Club. And in 2026, it's a reading challenge. And what this reading challenge does is I had to do all kinds of research on these prompts of 52 books that I plan to read in 2026. And so you kind of like you look it up, you do the research, you figure it out. So like let me just give you an example. So the first prompt is set in an ancient civilization. Kangaroo word on the cover, which means a word hidden inside of a word. Written without quotation marks, has a dust jacket, features a conspiracy. The title starts with a letter O. The title starts with a letter
Oh,
P.
that's fun.
It's so fun. And so, like, part of the fun for me was the nerdy little research.
Yeah,
Like, I
finding the
love,
book that meets all those criteria. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So I love that so much. And then when you finish it, you then go to like in your little journal here, and you could do it without the journal. I need it to be organized. But anyway, you go to that prompt and you write down, okay, so this was prompt 14, and you don't have to read them in any order. You read them in the order that you want. And this one was includes a character list. So I read The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin. And then you give it a star rating, and then you say what your stars mean, and then you write your review. And what I love about this is in 2024, I read 75 books, and I didn't note anything. I just, read them and kind of kept track of it in Goodreads. And then last year in 25, I only read 16.
Mhm.
But now here in 26, I would love to read 52 again. And I found that I can't always remember what they were about, which seems ridiculous unless I really super loved it. And then from my friend Lacey, I had these little sheets of gold stars. So I am having an absolute blast, like putting in my stars and
Oh, I
keeping
love that. That's cool.
journal.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so fun. And there's like a Facebook group, and there's like a subgroup on Goodreads.
Fun.
And like it is, it's kind of also fun to like I kind of sit with my popcorn and watch the comments, because some people are honestly just a little bit unhinged about, not following the prompt exactly. Whereas the idea is it's just supposed to be really
Exactly.
fun.
Well, and even if you
And
only
so,
read 30 books or 25
right,
books,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, and then get this, like if you finish, there are also these things called mini challenges. And like in a mini challenge, it's got a whole nother set of prompts. I haven't even like dug into the mini challenge because I'm just like really getting a handle on like the 52. And like they even make like there are templates so that you can make like social media posts, and there's like reading logs, and like there's a bingo. Here's a bonus challenge. In any quarter, read 4 books that are movies, and then compare and contrast the book and the movie. Like this thing is just crazy. It's so
Interesting.
fun.
Yeah.
Lisa Lake, I love that you told me about this because I am having so much fun. In fact, I carry this book in my like date book, like whole. And my husband is like doesn't believe in paper anymore. He's an engineer. So he's like, I don't understand why you have this huge date book. And I'm like, because I'm visual. I like to see it. I like to know what's going on. So anyway, if you guys get involved in this, you'll have to let me know. I don't really post in that group. I'm still more of like, I'm just kind of watching. I don't feel like I have enough like knowledge yet to be a person who says anything. I just kind of watch. And I'm having so much fun. So highly recommend. It is called the 52 Book Club. And this is a little journal. And I think I got it on Amazon, and I think it was $20. And it was highly recommend from Joleen. Highly recommend. In other things that we always do, we kind of talk about like what we are making and what is on people's work table. So Eric, let's start with you. What are you making right now? What do you have in
Besides a
progress?
mess of paints in my hands,
Yeah,
I'm working on a couple paintings that kind of apply to this winter wonderland theme that we have going on at Castle
sure,
Danger Brewery. The piece I had done for that sold on Facebook before I had time to even put it in the show. So I'm working on a piece for that. I have a commission that I need to finish for a client. I want
sure.
to get that done this week. And then I'm going to be spending the next month and a half focusing on doing animal art for this Chattagooch State Park show that I've got. So I've got to get pieces for that as well. So,
So
and
you're
then also
very busy.
thing too, very busy. And then also doing the artist in residency thing that takes a lot of time as well. So
Yeah,
very,
of
very busy.
course.
But yeah, mainly lots of painting. So it'll be good.
Right. Well, I am working on, I do retreats called Pick Your Projects.
Uh-huh.
And when people come to those retreats, they get to pick from a list of my projects. And I then teach them how to make those projects. And it's a
Oh,
list of about,
cool.
I don't know, 30, 35 things.
Neat.
And I'm adding new projects to the list because I have folks that come back year after year, and it's nice to give them something new. So I am working on some new projects for that. But also in 26, I am doing a holiday pick your projects. And so the idea is that they are holiday themed, or you could give them as a gift. And so I am working on samples that folks might choose for that. And I'm going to grab them real quick. So a couple of new projects that I have designed. What I'm holding up right now is a spool of star garland.
Oh,
And
cool.
of course, all of these stars are made from book covers. And so you can either, keep it on a spool or it can go on your tree. I obviously don't know where the beginning or the end of this thing is, but this is one of the projects that a person could pick at my December pick your projects. Oh, and look at that. I froze just at this awful time. But anyway, these are all books. So that's
Wow,
one.
that's wild. That's cool. How many
I know.
stars is part of it? I mean, how many?
I didn't count. I kind of went
Okay.
by volume. I went like by like half a tub. Like this is half a tub of stars. That's one. And then another concept that I'm just working on is I was kind of visualizing like fireplace garland or maybe even Christmas tree garland. And of course, my little gingerbread people are also
Cute.
made out of books.
That's
And
so cute.
so we're going to give them their own little outfits, or they could even be like tags. So I've
Mhm.
been working on that. And then of course my big one is I am working on a tree, and the tree is covered in broken jewelry. And I don't think I'm going to call it a Christmas tree because once I make it, I just really won't be able to put it away. But it's 33 inches tall, and it's made out of a traffic cone that I reinforced with that spray foam insulation so
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
can take the weight of all of the jewels. And this is one of those projects where I've been getting kind of bored because it's kind of the same thing. So it's like I have to dabble. So if you're with me live, I mean, it looks like a great big Elphaba hat.
Oh, that's cool. So, is it fabric or what's over the cone?
So it's the traffic cone, and then I filled it with that stuff
Yeah,
so it could hold it up, and then I painted the background so that
painted it. Okay,
you
gotcha.
wouldn't
So it's
see
not the
the
orange.
orange.
Yep,
And then
cool.
now I am placing all of the broken bits.
That's so much work.
And
That's amazing.
yes, yes, but it's going to be
Wow.
so great. And this too will be a project at the December retreat. And this is one where like whoever chooses this, like they need to bring the cone, the spray,
Mhm.
and like the doodads. I don't have enough of that stuff kind of laying around for everybody,
You're not
but I
endorsing people stealing cones though from
right,
craft.
no, no.
Okay,
Well, and
no
this is
cone
the
stealing.
special one. This is an Amazon one that is retractable.
Oh,
So you can't
cool.
use like the plastic one. You got to get this retractable fabric one, so that it won't flex when you fill it with the
Oh, of course.
yeah. So anyway, so when you come to the retreat, I will teach you how to do all of this and help you get started. But this isn't necessarily like a weekend project. Like this, she's gonna take a while. She's one where you jump in and you jump out because it's such a big project. So Anyway, that's what I've been working on. It's January and I'm still working on Christmas, but I want to give people plenty of time to see the projects before they register for that retreat. So that's what's been on my work table.
That's great. Wow.
I know, right? Thank you. Well, if you can believe it, we are almost out of time. Oh my gosh, it always
Wow, it goes so fast.
so fast. But
Yeah,
we do have a tradition here at the Happy Time Craftcast, Eric, where we ask all of our guests the same questions.
great.
And it gives us a chance to get to know you better. And, you can give one word answers, you can elaborate, you can do whatever you want, but it's just our absolute favorite send off. So here's the first one, and hopefully it's not too hard. Eric, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word. Wow, no one's ever asked me that. I would probably have to say a word I say a lot. Like I'll say fantastic a lot. I'm sure my students, there's several words I repeat in class that they make fun of me.
Sure.
Wow, what is the word that they make fun of me? It must be my favorite word because I say it all the time. Um, are you kidding? This isn't a word, it's a phrase. Are you
Okay.
kidding? I use that a lot. Are you kidding?
And you
Oh
use
my
it as like a happy
yeah,
expression.
that expression like wow. So instead of just
Yeah.
saying wow, I was like, are you kidding? So I don't know.
Yes.
Probably
Yes.
several phrases like that.
Well, I actually have one of those too, and it came up on my New York trip, and it's just like testimony to what a great mother I am because I was with my kids, as I mentioned, and somebody said that way. And then the other one said to the lake, which
Yeah,
is a quote from the movie Willow.
yeah,
And so
indeed.
all of them, when they said that way, like everybody
Yeah,
then filled in like with the quote from Willow. And I just had this moment of, that's right. That's how
yeah.
you raise them.
And truly, you know what? The word just sitting here listening to you, love to me, it's not a word I say a lot, but it's a
Yeah.
word I live by is love.
Yeah.
Purely love yourself, love even your imperfections, love who you are, love working on yourself if you wish to, and love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Love is the opposite of fear. If we live in a place of fear, it's just going to misguide us. Our world is fear based. The news is fear based. So for me, I would say again, I would hard to say. It's my favorite word. It's the word I live by, though, is love. For
Sure.
sure.
That works.
Yeah.
That works very
Yeah.
much. Very much. So on the opposite side of that, then, do you have like a least favorite word?
Fear.
Okay.
Honestly. Yeah. To me, fear is the poison of the human experience.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't confuse fear with danger, two different things.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
For me, fear is a belief. Fear is usually some thoughts that we have that are keeping us from doing our heart's desire, keeping us from, we are so fear based. Well, what if this happens? What if
Right.
that happens? Oh, I can't do that because then this will happen. It's all conjecture. It's
Mm-hmm.
all making assumptions. So yeah, I'd say fear is definitely the
Mhm.
word. I like it in that it's a great word to remind myself not to live that way.
Sure.
But it's
Yeah.
a word that I don't like.
For me, for the longest time, my least favorite word was bro or bruv or bra. Because my 21-year-old son keeps calling me bro. But you know what? I've embraced it and I now say it to him. And it's like,
That's hilarious. Wow.
I've joined the dark side.
Is he a surfer by chance?
Is he what?
A surfer.
Oh, he's a death metal drummer. So
Oh,
very
well,
close,
there he goes.
very
Yeah,
close, very close.
that's funny.
All right. This might be our most serious question. And it's
Mhm.
important because you might not know this about me, but my favorite food is toast. And
Okay.
I like to talk about sandwiches. So, Eric, what is the best kind of sandwich?
Boy, I eat a vegan diet now. So
Okay.
my sandwich choices, like back in the day, I used to love Philly cheesesteak sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
I also loved um, what's the one that was deep fried? Monte Cristo. It's like the
Monte
worst thing
Cristo.
for
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Monte Cristos. So now, honestly, what would I call? I
Like
don't
a
even
hummus wrap?
like
Like,
sandwiches, honestly, anymore
oh,
because
but
of
like
my diet.
hummus and vegetables. Like, I like
Yeah,
that.
I love that. Like, yeah, that's true. Like even in a wrap, I love doing
Yeah.
like a wrap with hummus, roasted vegetables. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
good. It's really tasty. So yeah.
so I had something last weekend that not really a sandwich, but kind of. It was a and I ate the whole thing by myself. It was a Dubai chocolate croissant. So it was a
Wow.
croissant, and then squished in the middle was a pistachio cream, and then it had chocolate drizzle on top. And it was just an absolute sticky, gooey mess. Like I couldn't really cut it with a knife and fork. Like I just had to pick it up and just let it like all over myself. But it was so rich and so decadent and so good. And I don't really usually eat like that because I'm like have a wussy baby stomach and it's like I can have like a bite of something and then I'm ill. But I ate the whole thing and it was so good.
So what makes it Dubai? Is it the pistachios? Is
Yes, it's a
that a
pistachio
Dubai
and
thing?
the
Okay.
chocolate, and, like, it was just and it's green, so it's green and chocolatey and
Interesting.
buttery. Damn, it was so good. And I'm gonna call it a sandwich because it was just amazing. And I think it was a croissant, but I think it was, like, $14, and I didn't care. I was like, "Yes, here's all of my money. You may have it." Okay. All right. Now back to serious, sort of. All right. So here we go. What about this one? So, like, you are an artist, like, you're an artist, and that's like your job. So, what does that mean to you?
Definitely doesn't. It's not a job. That's what I love.
Okay.
It's when people say I love your work, I,
Yeah.
I get kind of triggered because it wasn't work. It's
Sure.
so for me, what does being an artist mean to you is I'm following my joy. That's it. Following my joy. I
That's
love it, and being able to use what I've learned and what I continue to learn and the mediums that I work with to celebrate nature and celebrate wildlife. Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it.
right. I love that for
Just
you.
following my joy. That's what it means to me. So yeah.
So, have you ever thought, well, let me go to this one. This is my favorite question. So, like, of all of the things, like, what brings you the most happiness?
Boy, honestly, the life I'm living right now
Mhm.
does just to wake up and to see where I live, the people that I know, that I care about. It's just this moment. I am in such huge joy and happiness. Yes, I have challenges. It's not like I live in some Candyland world. I've got,
Right.
I'm looking for a new vehicle, for instance, and that's a whole nother story. But it, everything that, for me, everything that happens in life, even the things that we perceive as challenges, bring me joy because it usually is forcing me down a
Mhm.
path that I need to go. So, just what brings me the most happiness is following my divine guidance, and
Mm,
that will bring me happiness every time. It always does. So it's not a
I love
specific
that.
object if that's what you're thinking of. It's more of
No,
a
not at
state of
all.
being. It's a state of
Well,
being. To be happy.
also what I hear you saying is that you're listening,
Totally.
right? Like you
Yeah.
are listening
And
to
letting go of control, letting go of
yep,
fear, staying present. I to say that I'm doing it perfectly every moment. No,
of
it's
course.
always a journey. We have egos, we have saboteurs. We have things that are challenging us,
Mhm,
maybe beliefs, whatever that we need to heal.
mhm.
But it's always a process, and I love growing into that process. It's lovely.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it wouldn't be the Happy Time Craftcast if we didn't just talk a little bit about happy, happy, happy birthday tomorrow, sir. I hope,
Thank
right?
you. How did you
Right.
know that? Did I tell you?
I just know things. I just know
I
things.
don't advertise my birthday, so I wouldn't know how you found out that. That's interesting.
So I hope you have a marvelous day, filled with all kinds of things that bring you happiness. And thank you so much for being with us today.
My
I will be sure to link where we can find you and what you got
great.
going
Thank
on.
you
I'll
for
put
that.
all of that in our show notes. And thank you.
Me
I had a
too.
great time on the Happy Time
Good.
Craft Fest today. So thank you for being here.
My place. And can I add one thing real
Yes,
quickly?
of course.
To me, I think a lot of people judge artists and crafters.
Hmm.
There's this judgment. There's this like this separation. Oh, you're a crafter or you're not an art.
Yeah.
To me, if we're creating whatever
Mhm.
we're creating, it's art. It's amazing. Be creative in your life in whatever way you can, and that's perfect to me. Whatever that is, that's perfect.
I
So
love that. And what great final thoughts for us. And because what I'm going to take from today is I'm going to think through and live this chasing your joy because I feel like that's absolutely what I'm doing. And it's nice to
good.
hear. other people say that they're doing it too. So, all
Good.
right, for all of you
Thank
who are
you.
listening and watching, thank you for being so
Thank
awesome.
you, Karen.
I will see you on January 21 for our next episode, where we have actually asked you to send in your questions, and I'm going to be taking care of those. And some of them are crafty technique based, others are organization based. So thank you for that. But it's a Q&A live, and that will be on January 21st. So until I see you again, I hope you're doing all kinds of things that make you happy. Have a great day, everybody.